Hey guys, welcome to J Plays. I am Iceman. This is my latest devlog for my work on Nanatama Chronicle of Dungeon Maker, or as I like to call it, Dungeon Maker 3 for the Sony PSP. Let me just put the volume down a little bit. Alright, as you can probably guess, as with all that I do with all the rest of the videos, the current floor that we were up to at the end of the last one has now been completed. So in the, because the last video I put up was on the 22nd of July, we're now on the 6th, so it's been just under 2 weeks. I think, no, actually 2 weeks and 1 day since the last devlog. So now all of the 11th floor is now translated into English, with a fair bit of content in there. Let me get my notes. As per always with this, I'll go through and outline what exactly has been translated, and then I'll take you through what the 11th floor is like. I will note too, in the previous video I was saying that it's looking like this game goes for like 40 or 45 floors or something. The way the ruins are going and the way that the permit system is working, like the permits that you get, it's not looking like that's the case. It may still go for 20, but I guess we'll find out through the passage of time. Just making sure. Yep, you okay. Yep, Streamlabs is working. The amount of times I've recorded where there's no audio. Anyways, so let me scroll up in my file so I can get to where this started. Okay, cool. Alright, so we begin things at day number 75. And by the way, I've translated up to currently, I think it's like 83 or something. Yeah, 83. Cool. Okay, so on day number 75, one conversation with Frederick in the morning was translated. One with the professor and two with Sophia, because a new side quest pops up requiring you to try and find a Nanatama, which I'll cover that when we get to that point. That unlocked as well 2 types of new building materials, parlors, which is I think I called it parlor. There we go. Yep, this one. So there's parlor, and then tea room. This one. Alright, so those were translated over. I'll note that if you've played the previous games at all, both of these types of rooms should look very familiar to you. Both of them existed in Dungeon Maker 1 and 2. So this is just them bringing across more content. Much in the same style as Dungeon Maker 2 was, where it's more like an expansion to number 1. I will say that this game is really shaping up to be more like an expansion. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. They still did change some stuff. Anyway, on this first day, a new quest became available, which I've completed by this point in time, but let me try and find it. It was called Dryad Sap. I think I had a dryad.sp. There we go. This one here. So that one's being translated, as well as the conversations with Sophia that give you extra details for it. So there's all the extra, as you can see, there's the details for it. 3 new monsters were became available for research. We first have the first is the Dryad. Gotta be under plants, I think. Yep, this one. You're probably not seeing the information that I would get though, because the first time you get it is in an unresearched version, so not the exact text you see there. Nekomata was another one, again same thing, and Tengu, which is, by the way, the first boss battle linked into one of the new characters that you get. So if you remember the previous video, at the end, well, on accessing the ruins, you get an extra new party member, which is Aoi. that is this character here. So her main target that she wanted to take out was a long-nosed monster, that's what they call it, called Tengu, which is like kind of like a bird monster, kind of. I'll show you the monster file stuff for it. But again, this is what I translated was the untranslated, I mean the unresearched version of it. I think it's under humanoids. I think I had to do it as TG. Yep. Again, the game only gave me 2 letters to choose from, like space, and yet the word was Tengu. How do you put Tengu into 2 letters? So that's this guy. So if you do get to this level and you go to the ruins, once you place a couple of parlors, you'll most likely encounter this one. I'll warn that it's a bit of a difficult battle, but if you stick through it, you should be okay. But it's quite a difficult one. Alright, that was the morning. Then I went off to the dungeon. 2 new things became available. Medicinal herbs and nourishing herbs. So nourishing herbs was a quest that I translated at the end of the previous one. I'll show you, since we're up to it, I'll show you where in the... Oh, actually, we'll have to go the next day. I'll take this opportunity to... Ah, damn, I don't have any more of those. I need wildcat tail. Okay. Let me save. This is one's worthy of saving to my normal stuff. Alright. I'm not going to go to any of these places because I haven't checked this stuff yet, so they might be Japanese text because we're into the new bit. But I'll show you, so if you want to find where the nourishing herbs are, I'll show you precisely where they are in the ruins. It's not very far from where you start. Nourishing herbs you can find... One moment. We're almost there already. So, right over here, see the N.H that I'm targeting right now? This is the nourishing herb. Or if you want to move the camera around a little bit. Right there. Okay? I tend to like the camera like this, but... Yep. Now, normally there's not 2, but for me, there started being 2 of them, I don't know why. But anyway, and I'll note too that even after you pick it up, if you come back the next day, you can actually get more of them. So, they don't do it like a whole... The herb doesn't do much, but once you take it back to VV, they can make a potion that restores 1000 HP. So, if you want to know where to get the nourishing herbs, I've just showed you. Let's go back to 10. Medicinal herbs was the other one. I think I showed that at the end of the other one as well. Yeah. For the evening, one conversation with Sophia, because a new psychic reading becomes available, was translated, and a conversation with Vivi, which was probably the completion of the Nourishing Herbs quest, I would assume. On to day number 76, so remember this goes up to 83. Alright, so on 76... That's 175? Yep, 76. Okay, yeah, so there were, on this one, a conversation with Vivi was translated. Now this relates to a new item that becomes available in the shop. So once you've completed the Nourishing Herbs quest, you'll have the item of large potions that will be available to you in the store that restore 1000 HP. And the item itself, as you can see, has been translated, so large health potion. That was it as far as town went. Then I ran into 2 conversations with Aoi that were translated. That's the new character that joined. I have a feeling that was related to the boss battle with Tengu. So there's a conversation bit that happens at the start and one that happens at the end. So those were both translated over. Then a whole heap of items were translated. Alright. Now some of these, I think these were all monster drops and stuff. Okay, so the first is... Now some of these may not be in the list because of me just testing item drops and stuff. Oh, there we go. Blizzard Sword, that's the first one. Not a bad weapon. Dryad Sap was the next one. That's related to the Dryad Sap quest. I don't know if I'll have any that on me. I might have some. There you go. That one. Next was Dryad Staff. There you go, Dryad Staff. Flame Robe. I know who drops that. That's in the level 11 of the Mystery Dungeon. There's like a flame wizard that you take on in there. I think that's this one. Yeah, Flame Robe. Next was Ghost Light Stone. That drops from an enemy called Anibi that's in the level 11. If you go into parlor rooms, well, pretty much anywhere in the level, anywhere that's got like a Eastern kind of influence, you can have it or even a sun influence in the level, you'll get a chance of this appearing. Is it Ghost Light Stone? I think it's probably like gs.t or something. Or this one, maybe. Could be that one. Yeah, probably like it's probably that one. Most likely that one, actually. Okay. Warrior Armor was next. That drops from Samurai. That's a new enemy type that appears in the level. Oops, I am in the wrong thing. What was it? Warrior Armor. I think I called it WAR and then .AR or something. Either way, that's what it is. Warrior Armor. Water Key. That's a key item that you get that opens up any water door in the ruins. So, little spoiler there. But if you want to take on a hard wind golem type enemy, use that water key on the door, I won't say where, and you'll take on that enemy. That is... W.K, so water key. And water magic stone. That's a smithing material, I think. I called it W.S or something like that. Where are you? There we are, Water Magic Stone. Okay, in the afternoon side of things, 1, 2, 3, 4 different conversations with Elena were translated. If you're lucky enough to get the next grade of permit, so if you beat Tengu when you take him on, and you've got it, and you've discovered enough monsters by this point, then you'll get the next grade in permit. So if you do get that, you'll see that down here, down in the bottom section. So I've translated that now. So if you do complete that, you'll get C grade. Now, by the way, there's only, after this, you've only got B, A, and S grade, and there's only, well, if there was like 45 floors, that doesn't make sense. If there's 20 floors, it makes total sense. And I'm starting to think it is actually 20 floors. But we'll see in the passage of time anyway. Okay, anyway, so where was I? Oh, that's right. So the permit conversations and things were translated. Another conversation with Frederick and Sophia were translated. Okay, now a whole bunch of extra monster research was completed. So let's go back into monster file. So first is Dryad. So this time we get the proper translation. Once you've actually killed one and go for the research for it. That is that. Ice Gorham. Now this game has misspells some stuff, but I go with whatever spelling the original developers gave to an enemy, so it's not for me to choose this stuff. So I go with whatever they say. And they say it's Ice Gorham, so ice... What have I got it under? This thing. So this is the... If you have the water key, you'll take on this type of enemy, the Ice Gorham. They drop the water... What is it? Water magic stone, I think? Which you do need if you want to make some certain types of armor. Next up was an enemy called Enabi, I think? I don't know what category that's under. I think I just did it as ON. There you go. That's an Enabi. Next is Onimusha. It's a shame they couldn't have changed the T to an N. Onimusha, you know. But they're basically the same thing anyway. I think I called it Oddie or something like that. Or... Yeah. Oh, there we go. Odin. Yeah, so that's the Onimusha. They're basically like, you know, undead samurai. Okay, so Onimusha. Next is Skeleton Soldier. That should be in this same area as well. Should be like skelsalt.sold or something like that. There we go. Slightly improved version of the skeletons. So that's... There you go, that's translated. And last was Tengu. So, as I said before, about the text not matching because, you know, that's the research version. But this one you see here, that text is translated for Tengu. I warn, as I said, you are in for a bit of a challenge if you go to take him on. That is definitely a challenging battle. Probably the first actual challenging battle there's been in the game so far that I've encountered. There's one more that we'll get to much later, and that was even harder than this one. I'll get to that at the very end. Alright, so that's day number 76. Why did I change days? Oh, there must have been a, okay. Day 77, nothing happened. We go straight into day number 78. Alright, on day 78, conversation with Elena, Frederick were translated, as well as you get, I managed to get the 8th letter from getting a new title. That title, what title was it? Item Mania. So that was this one here. So Item Mania. New items were translated of Soul Rip Root. That's what you get for this particular like in reward of this achievement, and that's a good one to give to Rose, because she makes a mention when you get that she'd like it. I'll show you that item if I can find it. That's this one, Soul Rep Root, and the other one was Water God Shield. This one, that's like a water element shield. And the only enemy that was translated in the morning part of the day was a new monster called Demon Doll. Now, I've not encountered that enemy yet in the game, So if you do actually manage to encounter this one, it's untranslated as of this point, other than the initial research stuff you get for it. Let's see if I can find it. There's so many enemies in this by now. It's becoming difficult to find specific things, especially since they don't alphabetize the whole, the whole thing. Got a feeling I'm going back in circles. Yep. This one. Alright, Demon Doll. So that's as much as I've got translated as of that point. So if you encounter it, feel free to send me a screenshot or something of what the text looks like for the found version, and then I'll translate it. But I haven't got that doll to appear yet. I've got pretty much everything else, just not that one. Alright, for the ruins, not much. There was several items that got translated. So first was Black Flint. So Black Flint is in here, I think. I think I had to call it B.F or something like that. Yep, there you go, Black Flint. If that's that one. Light Harness was the next one. I'm pretty sure that's a armor thing. And it's waste, I think. Yep, this one, Light Harness. Not bad stats, it's okay. But by this point in time, you'll probably have better. If you've been keeping up with the, the gameplay of the previous patches and stuff. Alright, then we got Red Toad Meat. That only appears in the Dimension Door side of the dungeons. At least that's how I've got it to appear. So that item is... this one here, Red Toad Meat. And the last was Striped Spider Thread. I think that's an armor material. This one. Alright, that was that one. Okay, so that's the items. Then next, one conversation with in the evening for Elena was translated, but then a whole bunch of monster research was done because I took a trip to the Dimension Door dungeon, and that one bumped into a whole bunch of new enemy types. So those are all translated in their researched forms. Let's take it through that. Oops. Okay, first was... I don't know how to pronounce this one. Burai Musha. That should be in here. That's right, it's this one. It's like an undead version of the Odimushas. Even more undead than the other ones, actually. So that's this one. And then Devil Book is the next one. I think that's Spirit. No. Don't tell me that's under Humanoid. No, not under that. Oh, okay, there we go. So Devil Book. I just called it Book because of the amount of letters that were available. Next was Chair, so that's this one. Then Drunk Chair, that's this one. Karobi, that's in here, I remember that one. That's like KB. So So it's like a slightly more demonic version of the Onibis. Patchy Dog is the next one, and this one relates to a quest a little bit later. That's under Beast, I know it is. It's like PTD, I think. Yep, this one. So take note of this one, because you do need to take on this type of monster. Get its armor for a quest a little bit later, which I did actually get on the next day. I can see it in the notes already, but I'll get to that in a sec. Alright, so Patchy Dog, Red Toad was the next one. Okay, that's this one. Striped Spider. That's this one. And Wonder Broad, which I think is under Humanoid. This one. Yep. Okay, so that is day number 78. On to day number 79. For day 79, I managed to get another achievement, or a title. So letter number 9 came through, translate the text for that, and that one relates to... Which one is it? Monster Mania. That's this one. Yeah. Okay. Other than that, a conversation with Frederick, Sophia, and the professor were all translated, and that was for a new quest that I got. So if you remember me mentioning about the Patchy Dog just a moment ago, you get a quest to get its fur, as this one, right here. So that was translated for the Patchy Dog fur. A new item was I got for getting the achievement, or the title. I got the Jewel Bow, which I'm using at the moment. It's actually pretty damn good archery weapon. Like, I had a good bow already, but it's actually better than what I got already. So that's this one. It has like 37 attack rating. That's pretty good. Like, my previous one was like 26, so this is a bit of a damage boost. Now, two new building type places were made available. We first have the Evil Spirit Room. Now again, if you've played the earlier games, these two types of rooms should be very familiar, as they were in both Dungeon Maker 1 and 2. So Evil Spirit Room, I think I just called it Spirit Room. Yep, that's this one, translated. And the Ghost Garden, that is this one, translated. As I said, the quest was translated. In the dungeon, the only two things that were new, I got an item called Ice Shield. That is this one, Ice Shield. That drops from the ice gargoyles. So Ice Shield and Lizard Thigh Meat. That is this one. Right there, translated. Back in town, one conversation with Elena was translated, which gave us the meal for lizard thigh meatballs. That one, I can't show you because it's not nighttime. But basically, that's an extra new recipe that you can use. It gives a pretty good stat bonus. Not bad. The other thing was Blue Dragon Puppies. So that was one bit of monster research that was completed. So I was finally able to complete the side quest of defeating a Blue Dragon Puppy. That's back on the 9th floor, I think? 8th or 9th? Could be 10th. But actually, I think it's 10th. Yeah, 10th. 10th floor. So that is... That's this. So that's translated, and the title Monster Mania, as I showed you. Okay, now we're on to day number 80. Only 3 more after this one. For day 80, conversation with the professor and Sophia were translated, which leads to a side quest to take on a lance spider. I haven't actually encountered one of those yet, but I've translated the unresearched version of it. That is be under insect. That is this one. Okay. And then the only other things was one conversation with the professor was translated on that day, and Goblin Soldier, that'll be under Demi. So that's a new type of goblin that appears in this level. If you've played the other games, this should be a familiar enemy to you, because that was in the other ones. Okay, and that's it. That takes us on to day 81. Barely anything happened on day 81. Just one conversation with Elena and the professor were translated. Nothing else of interest. Okay, now on to day 82. Got another achievement. This one is for the amount of quests completed. So that gives you the title. Where is it? It should be like low quester. This one. This one. And it gives you a particular item that is of extreme importance. If you've played the previous 2 games, this item was in those as well. So that item is the health ring. So what it does is auto restores HP. So as you're walking around, you automatically, slowly over time, recover hit points. Highly useful. If you get this, don't throw it away. Make sure you put it on and you leave it on and you never take it off. Now the first game had an MP restoration ring too, so I'll wait and see if that's in this one. It wasn't in Dungeon Maker 2. It was in number 1. They probably got rid of it because it made the game a bit too easy. But yeah, who knows. Alright. Let me see. Other than that, for the dungeon side of things, we had a couple of bits of stuff, new items that appeared. First was broken wind armor. Oh, that's ore. So what's that broken wind armor? That's this one. You need that to make wind armor at the blacksmith. So once you've got that, you take it to him, and you can start making any of these type of. Oh, actually, these ones, the Gale armor. So anything that's like GL stuff, that is each of those things here. So it unlocks all those for you to make. They are not bad in stats, but they're equivalent to the Water God set in as far as like, you know, damage, like armor levels and stuff. It's not really a major improvement. Lizard Fangs was the next one. That's this one. And Nekomata Ring, which is not bad. I think it's like Nekom.R or something. Yeah, there we go. Nekomata Ring. Not bad. It gives you like plus 20 HP to your maximum and plus 10 to MP. So that's pretty good. Make sure to give that to your orb characters. And you can keep getting more because it drops from Nekomata. As I said, the Gale armor set was the next thing that I translated. I just showed you that before. And then we're on to the final day, 83. Okay, so in the morning there was no new conversations translated. In the dungeon there was 2 relating to a new boss. Now I'll take you over to where that is in a minute. So you take on a big, giant wyvern. So if you see in my characters there's a new one here, wyvern. You get to summon. But that's a boss that you take on, and then once you beat it, it joins you, just like the griffin, like the griff that's there. Yeah. So both conversations for the start and end of that battle were translated. New items of the Black Wyvern Orb, that is this one here. Flame Cone, that's a armor item. This one right here. Halberd, which is a weapon. I think it's not axes. Yep. So Halb is like halberd. Be sure to give that to your dwarf character. Makes for a nice little, improvement, upgrade for him. And the only other thing was Water God Helmet, which was a new thing in the blacksmith. In town, the only things of additional stuff now was I came back to town after defeating the Wyvern, and you have one conversation with Elena related to it. A new quest that you get from Guido, which is this one. Again, I only had 3 letters to choose from, so apologies. But the whole word was supposed to be granite. But how do you say granite in like 3 letters? So it was granite, but you have to find that in the ruins. I say, from the description that it gives to you, this sounds very easy. I think I know exactly where that is. But it'll probably be in the same place that you fought the Black Wyvern. That's where I'm guessing is the place you have to go. I'll do that when I start translating content for the 12th floor. Alright? And with that, that is all the main changes. Now, as usual, I'll show you what the dungeon is like for the 11th floor to give you a taste of things to come. Again, actually, I'll show you that too, after I've shown you the 11th. As usual, I've tried running through this multiple times, and I've translated anything new that popped up. Anything new that pops up as of me showing you now, I'll translate it before I release this. But I'll give you a quick run through of what to expect. So this room is the parlor. So if you've played the other games, this should be a very familiar room to you. It's like a Middle Eastern, or Eastern, I should say, not Middle Eastern, Eastern style, samurai kind of, style of room. Down this way we have Alright, here we have the tea rooms. This is what you need for the Nekomatas to appear, but it has to be a tea room attached to a sunroom or have a sunroom nearby to it. And then sometimes you'll get Nekomatas appearing. So again, if you've played the other games, this room should be very familiar to you, as tea rooms were in both of the previous games. That was one of the Odimushes. I'll just point out the new enemies when they pop up, not the ones that are existing stuff from previous ones. Here we go. This is the Nekomatas. If you've played the other games, it should be a familiar enemy to you. Like, the tactics of it hasn't changed at all. It's the same. This particular level has a lot of stuff that you need to do. They really filled it with lots of things. Compared to the other games where you'd have like maybe 1 or 2 things to do, you have like about 4 different like things to do. I think 2 quests and 2 side quests. 2 or 3. Actually, I think it was 3. 3 side quests. So here is the evil spirit room. I've called it the spirit room. Again, if you played the previous games, this room should be very familiar to you. You need this room in order to get ghosts to appear in your dungeon. Here we have the ghost garden room. This attracts ghosts and evil spirits. If you're lucky enough to have this near a wind kind of area, you'll get wind armor thingies, wind armor enemies appearing. They drop the broken wind armor stuff. That you need to make that kind of armor. By the way, here's the Black Wyvern. Eh. It's lethal. Oh, here's the patchy dogs. You need to get some of their skin, or their fur, I should say, for one of the quests. I think it's Vivi. Oh no, the professor. That's right. You also need this type of room to get the lance spiders to appear. I haven't been able to get one to appear, but apparently you need to place one of these rooms near a storage room to get it to appear. A couple of my evil spirit rooms have cobwebs in it though, so probably means one's going to appear eventually. Because there's some that don't appear straight away. See those cobwebs right here? So I got a feeling after some time it'll probably appear in those edges. And this is when I say storage room, it's these kind of rooms. See, cobweb over there. So if you see a cobweb start appearing in your evil spirit rooms, you'll know you're doing the right thing to get the lance spiders to appear. Just like the purple dragon pup, they don't appear right away. It's like they appear after a few days, I think. Like in-game days. Yeah, so in part of the level you need to have it with ghost rooms, and then in another part you need to have it in wind corridors to get the dryads to appear, because you need to get their honey sap for one of the quests that you get off Sophia. Oh, there's the wind type armor. That's a new enemy in this level. Very, very difficult to take down. I mean, they don't like hit you that hard. Just they've got a very high armor rating. As you see, they drop the broken wind armor when defeated. So they're definitely worth taking on. Yeah, oh, another one. Not much further to go at this point. So soon I'll take you through the ruins for the 12th floor to give you a taste of things to come. Here's the new skeleton type that's in the level. Here's the Onibis that I mentioned before. Very easy to take down. The Onimushas, as I said earlier. Just about done. Alright, so that should give you a nice taste of what to expect in the 11th floor. I'll show you what to expect from the 12th. There's not a lot to it really, but I'll show you. There's no new items in the section on this level. Just an elevator and that's it. So to reach it, you need to go this way. And which one is it? Oh, here's the new goblin type, by the way. Okay, so there's the elevator. Anything to the north is rubble. So if you go up here, that's all you're going to find. Now, if you take this up, it takes you into this place. So once you go up, in here is where you fight. Well, not these guys. So once you summon him from here, this is where you fight the Black Wyvern in this whole big area here. Very challenging boss battle. Definitely even more difficult than the Tengu one. So I warn ahead of time, just come well stocked up in items and stuff, and you should be alright. It's not like super difficult, but it's like definitely more harder. I died a couple of times. And if you get the switch out, you'll be back into a familiar area here. So I've got a funny feeling one of those is for that tablet quest thing that I got. Let's see if it is. These I've translated too, by the way. Ah, here we go. In Japanese because I didn't check this bit. Because that's relating to the next bit of this. Anyway, so with that is everything that there is to show you for this part of the game. We'll soon begin work. I'm gonna take a break and do some gaming off some other stuff for a little bit, but I will start on the 12th floor content in time, and we'll get onto that soon. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed watching this devlog. If you'd like to see more progress on this, be sure to keep track of when I put up the next few. As usual, I'll put up the demo for this one that has everything translated up to this point that you can play and have fun for the first 11 levels of the game, which even like if you're just starting now, that should offer you months of content, like as in real-time months, because it takes a long time to get through even one stage. So it should give you quite a bit to see and play through. And if my suspicions are right and this does finish on the 20th, that means we've only got 9 more levels to go after this. So that means we're sitting on about 60% if I'm right. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see in time. Alright, so yeah, and if you'd like to support this project, like if you're a big fan of Dungeon Maker like I am and you want to support the project, firstly you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube where you're watching this video. You can support me on Patreon, which I have a link. There'll be a link for in this video. Okay. As per usual, the things I need if you're watching this and you have skills in implementing variable width fonts or half-length width fonts in games, I could use your help because that would benefit this project immensely. Those are the main things. Yeah. Anyway, so that's about it for this project. This devblog. I will see you guys in the next video. Guys, have a good one.